Hi everyone. So today's lesson is going to be about 2-point perspective. So you should have already taken the notes on perspective and understands the different ways to create the illusion of depth and space on a two-dimensional surface. There is a video for this 1-point perspective, and 2-point perspective is basically when you are drawing an object from its side. So you're like seeing the corner and objects, the object is moving in two directions, thus two vanishing points. And you can follow along, push pause as you need to. All right, so 2-point perspective. Number one, you're going to lightly draw a horizon line. And go ahead and draw two little dots on either end. Now, I have to caution you, when you're working in perspective, if you're drawing something really big, the vanishing points are probably going to be really far away, way off of the paper. So we're going to draw kind of small here. You want to keep in mind that you want the object to sort of move towards the vanishing point. And you just want to try and get the angle right. So if you were drawing a cityscape, you wanted to have like a main building, right? You probably would not draw these vanishing points. You would probably just think about which direction they're going into or moving towards. So again, if you're going to draw this object, all right, and you see it like this. This object is a cube. All right, and you see the corner facing you, and you see that there is the top and the bottom kind of moving in a direction towards the right, and on the other side moving in the direction towards the left. So yeah, so how would we do that? All right. Oh, and if you see it like this, that's 1-point perspective, right? You see the front, the bottom, the side. But if you see it on its side, then you have to use 2-point perspective. Just a subtle shift. So I'm going to start by just adding a little line here. And you should already know that this line that I drew, this horizontal line, is called the horizon line. And it represents your eye level. So you should already have written that down or understood that. Okay, so what you're going to do, go ahead and draw just some dashed lines. These lines are called orthogonal lines. Now again, in drawing, you don't always have to draw the lines all the way to the vanishing point, just as much as you need. It will save a lot of effort for you for erasing. So, but what you do have to do is line your ruler up. Think about what angle you want. Now, starting at the center line, you move it away. Think about what it is you're making. And you want to make sure that it doesn't get crooked. So don't do this. Don't do this. You need to keep your lines parallel. So you want to keep the edges of your box parallel to the corner of your box. Or you could look at it as being perpendicular to the horizon. So I'm going to write there parallel to corner. and perpendicular to horizon. Okay, no crooked lines. And now that I know where my box is going to be, I'm going to just go ahead and darken it. Now, how big of a box? Is it a cube? Am I making a shoebox? What am I making? So that's where you would decide what it is you're making and how big you want it to be, right? So maybe a shoebox on its side, maybe a bigger box. I think I'm going to stop it right there. For this demonstration, I'm just showing you, so I'm not making anything in particular. I'm just kind of showing you the technique of two-point linear perspective. All right, now let's do one above the horizon line, which is when you're looking up at something. It is called worm's eye view. I think I told you that the horizon line, this is called street level, the one that we just did. So now we'll do a worm's eye view. Let's get a little closer there. All right, so same concept. I'm going to go ahead and draw just a little corner of my object. And now I'm going to connect the top and the bottom to both sides of the, both vanishing points. Then there's the edge. Now see how I didn't draw it all the way down because that's just too much erasing. Now I already made it bigger than I wanted maybe, so I have to still erase that. Which isn't a big deal, but it could make your paper really sloppy to have extra erasing. So just keeping that in mind. Now I'm going to go to the other side. And again, I'm lining up the corner, the top corner, with the vanishing point. Voila. And then I'm going to line my ruler up with the corner. And I'm going to draw my edge to be perpendicular to the horizon or parallel to the corner. Whatever makes you do it properly, however you want to think about it. So you can see I had to make this just a little longer. So I'll just line up my ruler again. Trying to do this without a ruler or a straight edge can be a challenge. Now, this is one side. This is another side. Now we have to do the bottom. You don't see the top. I saw so many people try and do this. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't see it. It's above your head. Don't draw it. So you want to keep that in mind when you're working. All right. So now I'm gonna do the bottom. So how do I do the bottom? I need to connect this corner and do the back part, which goes towards the right horizon line. And I could probably stop right there. And now I'm going to do this corner, which moves towards the left horizon line. And then that's the bottom of the box. So the top you don't see, you see two sides and a bottom for worm's eye view. All right, so we're going to do one more example and then you guys will practice. So we'll do one below bird's eye view. Where do you make the line? It's up to you. You can make it anywhere. You can make it real close, then you don't see much of the top. You can make it down far, then you see a lot of the top. Maybe try it a couple different places. So I'm just connecting my starting corner. I'm going to label that for you. Starting corner. So that reminds you that's where you should start. Okay, right there. And then I'm going to draw my orthogonal lines, which is pretty much just the top and the bottom of the box, or the shape, or whatever I'm doing. Now I'm going to draw the edges. And now I'm going to draw the top. So we have the corner, we have the side, and now we're going to do the top. Now I'm drawing darker than you should draw. Okay, I'm drawing dark so you guys can see. When you're doing this, draw lightly to start. Yeah, so that's the basis. Okay, that's simple. 2-point perspective. You can certainly get very complicated with it just by following the same procedure. You could add second stacked buildings. You could add like sidewalks, all kinds of stuff. So before we get to anything complicated, I just want to make sure you understand and do properly, from all vantage points, a simple box. All right, your turn. Have fun.